Hobby Pianists, the secret practice plan, take your piano playing to the next level. Now, you want to transform your piano playing in 2026, then you need a practice plan. Even if you are a hobby player, it's one of the biggest mistakes to just start practicing without any idea what is actually improving. If you look back to January of 2025, do you know exactly what has improved? Do you know what has improved on your strategy, your technique, your interpretation, your performance, your mindset? If you don't, then how should you know and how you actually improve in the future? You need a very clear plan. And that plan needs to be based on your past improvements. And then you'll analyze exactly which pieces you need in terms of filling the gaps in your technique, in your interpretation, all these different areas. And once you know exactly your weak spots, then you can choose exactly which pieces you need to learn and how many of those, right? And what kind of exercises you need, be it short Czerny exercises, be it Chopin etudes, be it other exercises you'd need to do. And it would also tell you exactly, how long you should practice and which days. And these kinds of things are something you really need to analyze thoroughly. Take your time, take a couple hours for this, because it will save you many hours in the coming year. If you don't do this properly, even as a hobby player, you will be stuck in your practice and you will not actually make real improvements. I have had so many people who are complaining here on this channel, you talk too much about philosophy, etc. But that's actually what moves my mentees forward, that we are talking about these mindset things and that we also talk on the real system, the practice system. That's already the next point. You need a practice system to move you forward. You cannot rely on your instincts yet if you haven't reached your goals, right? You want to know what to do in which situation without actually thinking about it, because you need to focus on the task at hand. You are not able to always think, okay, should I do this, should I do that? You need a clear system that decides for you, that says, okay, now it's time for this, now it's time for that. And you need a clear mechanism that helps you to improve these details on a regular basis. Look, I'm here now in this music school in Dornbirn in Austria, where I have started playing the piano. And in this room here, I have also performed for the first time, I think, in front of, other kids and my teacher, where we had our class concerts. And this room has made me start my career. And this room was also where I collected the first experiences. And that's the thing I highlight very often. You need to play in front of others and you need to collect these experiences, right? So you know exactly also what to change on a daily basis. Now, how does a real practice plan look like? You should define for yourself what warm-up exercises do you need in order to prevent injuries. Which technical exercises to do on a daily basis in order to make your fingers strong, your wrist flexible, and also your hands independent. Which exercises will you just keep in a toolbox for pieces? Which etudes will you practice and how much time do you spend on technique? Is it 5 minutes for beginners, for example, or is it half an hour for professionals or something in between? Which pieces do you start with in your practice? Where's the biggest leverage? Where do you start on which problematic parts? And this will change, obviously, so you need a new plan for at least every month. Which passages do you start with? Which exercises? And then you do that for like a third of your practice time, depending on how long you practice. You start with that most difficult, cognitively difficult, technically difficult things at first. Then you choose the other 1-2 pieces where you work on your expression, where you work on phrasing, on articulation, on dynamics. And then what also needs to be included in the practice plan is an event where you can perform for others. You can collect data, experience. You see how you can deal with your feelings of frustration when you make a mistake. How fast can you let go of that? And how can you build your confidence in the long term? And you should also include a little bit of time in the end for daily journaling. So reflecting also on what has worked and not. Now, I have many people who say, hey, I'm a hobby player, I just want to play for fun, and that's great. I'm not saying you should not do that. It's just you should also make good plans for real practice, because that's what will move you forward and that's what will make you enjoy the playing around even more. And there is another part in the end, which is very different from person to person. For some people it will be to practice sight reading, for others it will be to practice improvisation, for others it will be to, warm up a repertoire. And what also needs to be included in your practice plan is a rotation of which pieces do you practice every day, which pieces do you practice in rotation, like every second, third day, or even just once a week. I know that sounds like it's really a lot, but if you do that once properly, that will really help you to, outperform all the other hobby players, because nobody does that, right? Nobody really works on a clear practice plan. And I have already created many practice plans with people here. We do that in the strategy sessions, and this already will move you forward like quite a lot, right? If you have this plan and others don't, obviously you will move in the right direction. And you don't even need to practice that much. Just imagine you are on a map, right? You want to go somewhere, and just walking in the right direction will lead you to the goal at some point, right? Even if you are super slow, if you just go 1 kilometer a day, you will still arrive there at some point. But if you go in the wrong direction, if you don't know where to go, take detours, doesn't matter how fast you walk or how much you walk, you will not end up in the right destination at the right time. And that's what this practice plan will help you. So apply for this strategy session now, and we make the best plan for you for 26. Apply at aaronpilson.com/academy. And we want to then figure out in the strategy session what exactly your goals should be based on that plan. And we work on the plan, all the parameters, right? That being said, I wish you all the best for the new year. May it be a year of piano playing for you. And piano playing may, also inspire you to do many other things in life. That's the beautiful thing about it. Have a happy new year, and thank you so much just for watching this channel and following it. It keeps me going, it keeps me sharing valuable insights. Post under this video what topic you want me to talk about in the coming videos, and we see each other again then soon with your favorite topic. See you there. Bye bye.